Are you ready for some football-based cartoons? This is Tuned In. I'm Josh the Fox Mills, and here I review cartoons, no matter how new, no matter how old, no matter the cost. Soon, the Super Bowl will once again dominate the airwaves. In honor of this annual tradition, I've decided to make February Sports Month. Also, I'll start off with a football cartoon, but not just any football, the NFL itself. The NFL, otherwise known as the organization that interrupted my cartoon shows for years. Not that I'm bitter. Did you know that beneath the stadiums of the NFL rests amazing cores of power without which mankind is doomed? Me neither, but apparently that's the case for our next cartoon. Join me after the credits and see a bunch of kids with superpowers protect football and the world itself in NFL Rush Zone. Directed by Rohitash Rao. Wow, what a name. Rush Zone ran for 3 seasons and 66 episodes. Rush Zone was unique as each episode was short enough to take up a commercial break. Suiting, as it basically was a big commercial for the NFL. The first season, starting in 2010, was the story of Ish Taylor. Ish, short for Ishmael, was an 11-year-old football fan, and soon learns that he is the chosen one to be the guardian of all 32 shards of a power source called the Core. Speaking of cores, I'm going to have to work out more. Each of the core shards were hidden in each one of the NFL football stadiums for some reason. All through the first season, Ish must protect the core shards from a villain named Sudden Death, a zombie cyborg orc-looking guy. Look, I know he's a football-based villain, but does he really have to look like a football? Or at least Sudden Death is a decent name for a bad guy, albeit a tad corny. Sudden Death hopes to use the core to conquer the universe somehow.
I don't get it. You see, phase 1, collect underpants. Phase 2, phase 3, profit. Oh, I get it.
Anyway, to beat Sudden Death, Ish uses the Rushers. Strange alien hominids from a distant planet that resemble each of the NFL team's logos, the city that the team is from, or some other aspect of the franchise's history. They are apparently responsible for the creation of the NFL teams. That's right. Football was invented by aliens. Funny how you never hear that mentioned from any paranormal investigators. After 21 2-minute-long episodes and one 22-minute TV movie, Sudden Death is defeated and Season 1 comes to a close. Now, here's where things get kooky. For Season 2, they decided to make some changes, and I'll let the big giant head explain.
Recruit a team of teenagers with attitudes!
Yes, in addition to extending episodes to 5 minutes instead of 2, they decided to also give Ish 5 teammates, and gave all 6 of them Power Ranger-like super suits.
Where is my super suit?
To be fair, this probably did make the series more interesting. Also, now they could sell action figures if they wanted to.
Merchandising, merchandising! Where the real money from the movie is made.
Most of the suits were very similar with just enough distinction to barely tell them apart, much like a real football team. This plays both for and against them at the same time. This new team consists of Ish, of course, in the leadership position, as he was the founding guardian. Ash Reynolds, the token girl of the team. This fiery redhead serves as a fine second-in-command for the Guardians and a reminder that some girls like football too. Troy Kang, an arrogant, hot-headed type, which is suiting since he's voiced by Johnny Young Bosch. Tua Topola, a Polynesian name if I ever heard one. He's the straight shooter of the team, but get him mad and watch out. Marty Stevens, the fast-talking prankster that all teams need. He is the fastest of the team, basically making him the Flash in ability and personality. Ricky Cervantes, a big tough guy who was under the control of Season 2's villain, but now works for the team as their strongman. In the second season, the team fought the villain known as Wildcard, basically the Joker in powered armor. Without spoiling why, this guy is seeking the brand new Megacores and their power as an act of revenge, and is trying to use what's left of Sudden Death's army to take that revenge and destroy football. If he wanted to destroy football, all he'd have to do is keep Roger Goodell in charge of the NFL. Am I right, guys? Huh? All I know about football is what I read off of Wikipedia. Moving on. Of course, Wildcard is beaten. However, Ish had to give up his Guardian powers to do so. He is hit hard by this, since he was the first Guardian. Wouldn't you know it? That's when a newly revived Sudden Death returns, with his new allies, the Antichorians. The Antichorians are 3 robotic aliens with a sworn rivalry against the Rushers. What's interesting with the Antichorians is Zich, the largest and strongest of the 3, is also the smartest, serving as both brains and brawn for their group. Stellaria is a sleek female robot ninja with the power of wind. And Angkoro seems extra and unnecessary, as he's not as smart or as strong as his other teammates, which of course gets in the way of his ambition of becoming Sudden Death's number 2. The guy with telekinesis is the dumb one. I actually found that amusing. You know, in a show like this, the good guys will ultimately win, and indeed Ish gets a miracle recharge of his powers. They beat Sudden Death once and for all, and the series comes to an end, with football and the universe saved. If you're watching this review instead of the halftime show, you probably made a good choice. It's time for my final thoughts.
What does the fuck say?
I know little about football, but even I could see that the constant cameos of NFL players probably came off as pandering. Rush Zone did improve when it jumped from the football Matrix to Gridiron Power Rangers. It probably could have gone on longer than 3 seasons, but by then I'd imagine Nickelodeon was done with it. A huge saving grace of the series is the episodes were short, and you could probably get through the entire series in just a couple of hours. It's not my cup of tea, but maybe you guys will like it. It's definitely made for kids though. Next week, Sports Month moves on with more sports superheroes as we take a look at the pro stars. Until then, this was Josh the Fox Mills saying, stay tuned.